welcome to this face punching game in which Warriors of Chaos will face Warriors of Chaos. I am fielding the Dragon Host, and quickly my list from the top left of the table: Dragon Ogres with a champion, 5 Dragon Hounds with Vanguard, 18 Warriors, Strays and Toothpicks, the Exalted Butcher on a Demon Mount with a shield and a halberd. He's got the Mark and Nurgle. In front of him is my dragon with a Bat Scratcher, which is a Lord with Charm Shield, the Third Eye of Tzeentch, and the Talisman of Protection. So he's got a 2-up, 4-up, rerollable 1. Next to that is a Slaanesh Mid Chariot. Then I've got more Dragon Hounds with Vanguard as well. Another Slaanesh Mid Chariot. Next to the Dragon Hounds is my level 2 of Slaanesh, my Jester, on the Steed of Slaanesh. And at the bottom left there, a Dragon Chimera. My opponent's been playing Warriors of Chaos since I've joined the club and is very well experienced with them. From the top right, he's got his Lord of Tzeentch on the disc and a war. He's got a grey weapon. Next to that, behind the town there, is a Hell Cannon. He then has a block of Khorne Warriors with halberd and shield. In that block is Salah Grim of Khorne, of course. He's level 4 Sorcerer of Death. Behind the block is a level 2 Sorcerer of Tzeentch on a disc of Tzeentch. Next to the Khorne Warrior block is a BSB on Tzeentch on a disc. He's got a ward and a great weapon. Below that is a block of 17 Nurgle Warriors, and last but not least is another Hell Cannon. Interesting list, played it a couple of times. Yeah, it can be tough, For spell, my level 2 of Slaanesh with Slaanesh Familiar gets Phantasmagoria, Cacophony Choir, and the Pavan of Slaanesh. So I'm very happy with Cacophony Choir. The level 3 of Death gets Doom and Darkness, Soul Blight, and Spirit Leech. The level 3 of, or level 2, sorry, of Tzeentch with the Familiar gets Infernal Gateway, Glean Magic, and Bolt of Change. We're playing Battle Lines, and I am the only one with Vanguard units. I move up my Dragon Hounds forward to try to entice his Khorne Warriors to charge. And I place my Sorcerer forward behind the building on the bottom there, so he cannot be sniped on first turn. My opponent gets to go first and move his units forward, especially his flying disc characters. In his magic phase, he casts Spirit Leech on my Lord or Back Scratcher. Gets I failed to dispel by 1. He gets 4 wound and I was at 3, thank God. He then casts Doom and Darkness on the Lord, and it's cast. Shooting goes very bad. He fails one of his tests on the cannon and the other one misfires. In my turn, the center Chimera declares a charge against the War Shrine and gets it, which is very good. I move then the Dragon Hounds, the Dragon Ogres, towards the Warriors block, trying to slow it down or to get it engaged. I then move my other Warhounds forward towards the block of Nurgle and decide to move everything up to try to breath to death down that unit of Nurgle Warriors. In Magic Phase, I cast Fireball from the BSB, forgot to mention, it got a Ruby Ring of Fire, but gets nothing, and then I tries to do Pavan before I do a big Cacophony Choir bubble, but failed to cast Pavan, so no more Cacophony this turn, which is a bit of a drag. Shooting went well, get about 3 warriors off, but that's not enough given the commitment I made. In combat, the Chimera don't do enough on the War Shrine, and they stick. Turn 2 is uppermost. Hell Cannon decides to charge the Dragon Hounds, which they take to flee through my warriors and they pass the panic test. He then decided on not to charge with his lord there, but it's a bit of a long charge, so he doesn't. He charges my Chaos Warriors with his Corn Warriors and sideline the level 3 of death. His BSB can just fit in and charge the flank of my BSB. Well, I should be more careful and cover his sides, but didn't. He also charged my lowermost Chimera with his Nugget Warriors, and I'm not gonna like that. In his magic turn, he fails to cast Clean Magic and tries to cast Soul Blight, but I dispel it. Combat with Chimera, he explodes me, he's got the Flaming Banner, and then he runs over into my chariot. His BSB behind the chariot there attacks my BSB. Attack first, cause a wound, attacks back, causes 2 wounds, but because of my Demonic Mound, I've got 3. And I reform. The combat with the Chimera and the Warshround has gone as planned, and he's left with 1 wound and sticks. My warriors break, they get run down, and he overruns into my Dragon Ogres, which is not a good news. In my turn, I charge the second chariot into the Nugget Warriors. I then charge the dragon in the back of the Nugget Warriors. I move my sorcerer closer. I have 6 dice in magic phase and proceed to cast Cacophonic Warrior. It goes off, and that's a big one. His level 2 of Tzeentch dies, his BSB dies, 2 of his Nugget Warriors die, his cannon and the War Shrine survive though. But I'll take it, that's 2 characters off, that's a lot of points off. So in combat, the Nugget Warriors hit last and gets completely exploded by the dragon and the chariot. Combat between the Corn Warriors and the Dragon Ogres don't go very well. It causes 7 wounds, that's 1 model and 1 wound left. I hit back, cause a few wounds, but that's not enough. He runs me down and stops 1 inch away from his lord. At the start of his turn, his Hell Cannon at bottom failed his moral check and needs to charge the closest enemy unit, which is my Sorcerer Lord. It's gonna hurt. His Tzeentch Lord on a disc charges my BSB in the back. In his movement phase, his unit of Corn Warriors reforms to face the battle. In his magic phase, he Soul Blights the BSB, but he has a great weapon, so it's not going to make a difference, and I let it go. The combat with my Chimera and his War Shrine, and I finish the last one on the War Shrine and reform to face the warrior. His Lord on my BSB has got way too many attacks, and I don't get any through, so unfortunately my BSB dies. This ensues a panic test on my Dragon Lord, who fails and has to flee, and he flees behind the cannon, which isn't good, because I had the combo there, prepared for the Lord, unfortunately. Combat between the Hell Cannon and the Sorcerer Lord, I surprise him and with my 1-up armor save, and it doesn't cause me any wound. I don't cause any wound back. In my turn, then I charge both chariots into his Lord. Successfully rally the Dragon Hounds on the top and my Dragon Lord. I then proceed to move the Chimera close to the top Hell Cannon so he cannot shoot me. I have to cast anything in my magic phase, so that's the end of that phase. And in combat, his Lord just destroys 1 of my chariots. Because it's a panic test on the nearby Dragon Hounds who flee through the building. And the combat with my Sorcerer and the Hell Cannon is a wash. It causes a wound, but I have the Opal Amulet and I 4+ wall save it. In his turn, he charges the Corn Warriors into the flank of the chariot. This also gives his level 3 of death in the unit enough range to Soul Blight the Lord and Spirit Leech the Lord. I dispel Soul Blight and Spirit Leech causes 5 wounds, and I fail ward save, so bye bye back scratcher. The dragon fails his monster check and gets frenzy. He must attack the closest unit, which is the Hell Cannon. In combat, he destroys the chariot, reforms his lord towards the dragon, and reforms his warriors. His Hell Cannon finally puts 2 on my sorcerer and kills it. In my turn, why not I charge the camera into the Lord and make it, and charge the Frenzied Dragon into the Hell Cannon. I then move my able unit of Dragon Hounds close enough to the warriors so he's gonna make him think before he shoots at it with his Hell Cannon. Combat with camera and the Lord, the camera gets 9 attacks, gets a few wounds through, but he was ward saves all but 1. He causes 2 wounds back, I win by 1, his sticks is unbreakable, tries to reform but fails to reform. The dragon starts to dismantle the Hell Cannon little by little, but there's a lot to do, so it causes a few wounds but sticks around. In his turn, he reforms the Corn Warriors. He's in process to shoot at the dogs and gets a direct hit and kills them all. The dragon finishes the Hell Cannon, and at the start of my turn I charge him into the Lord. That doesn't go well for the dragon. He gets slapped badly, gets killed, and that's the end of the game. I get tabled. It was a great game, a lot of things happening, a lot of things I forgot, noticeably the reroll of 1 for my back scratcher ward saves, which is a bit of a pain. The warriors also shouldn't have been able to catch my warriors because we both have pattern of swiftness, not just him, so because he rolled 1 less than I did, he would have been I would have been able to get away. So unfortunately, that would have leave me another unit. I'm not sure it would have changed much, but yeah, Cacophony Choir Bubble was awesome. It's a shame I didn't cast it on the first turn. He would have stopped his unit from charging, but there you go. Lesson learned, mistakes were made, and mistakes will be hopefully not be made again. Hope you enjoyed the game. See you later.